look, another beauty influencer reviewing the Yucca palette from Natasha Denona. Why, yes. Yes, I am. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new here. So for today's video, I'm sure I'm like the 100th video that you guys have seen by now, reviewing the new Natasha Denona Yucca palette. And you know what, guys? Originally, I was going to put this in like a testing out new makeup, which I still probably will, but I wanted to play with this palette, so we're going to have a standalone review. I know you guys have seen so many at this point. Mine's going to be nothing original, but if you like me, if you want to see my eye look, well then definitely keep watching to see what my thoughts are on the Yucca palette. Okay guys, so here is the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. Originally I was saying Yucca, but you guys said it's called Yucca, which is a plant I think in Southern California. But here is the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. Now y'all, I ordered this, like pre-ordered this. It arrived here today and oh my gosh, y'all, I am a little embarrassed. So I reached out to Natasha Denona on Friday to be like, hey, I was just kind of wondering if my palette shipped. I saw so many of my friends getting their palettes who pre-ordered it the same exact time as I did. I was just wondering if my palette has shipped at all. If not, no worries. I'll purchase it through Sephora and just, you know, cancel my order, no big deal. And they got back to me within 2 minutes, which first off, I was like, what kind of customer service is this? Y'all got back to me within 2 minutes. Like, I was so surprised. And then I saw their hours were like 9 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I was like, oh my gosh, y'all, let me go to their LinkedIn and see if they're hiring. They're not, but I am now following. So I was like, I'll be your customer service, but that's beside the point. That's beside the point. Here's me just trying to take advantage of the situation going, do they need someone to work a customer service position? Because your girl is looking for a job. Anyway, I reached out to them. They got back to me within 2 minutes, let me know that my palette was actually supposed to be delivered on Friday, but FedEx decided to keep my palette. So FedEx kept my palette from the 31st. It got delivered to Orlando on the 31st, right? But they kept it and they decided to deliver it today. So here we are. So my video is going to be late. I apologize, but you know, FedEx wanted to play around the palette first. They wanted to, you know, do a quality test to see if it's actually worth it. But here we have the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. First off, I absolutely do love the packaging. I think packaging is so freaking beautiful. And then you take the palette out, I just love the matte. I love the matte feel of this. I love the way it's designed. I think it's a very, very gorgeous palette. And you open on the inside, this is going to be how the palette actually looks. Now this is definitely a color scheme for me. You guys know that I love yellows, greens, especially like baby diarrhea green. Like there's something about the baby poop that I'm just like, yes. I won't clean your kid's diaper, but the color of it, I don't know, it's so pretty. It's just like so pretty. But I saw this and I was like, I have to have this. Now, there's something that I want to point out, and I haven't seen anyone talk about this, but to be fair, I haven't really watched any reviews. My palette smells like it has a really distinct smell. Oh, it smells, oh, it's like a chemical smell. I can't describe it other than like a chemical smell, and it's actually a little overwhelming to the point that it's like nauseating. I don't know how to describe it other than my palette just has a smell, and I don't know if it's because it was sitting in a FedEx location since the 31st. I don't know. But y'all, my palette stinks. I spent $69 for a stinky ass palette? What the fuck? No. It smells. So I might reach out to customer service to be like, hey, there's a really distinct odor coming off this palette. It's really heavily fragrance and like chemical. I can't describe it. Even my husband's smelling it going, what is that? I don't know. And it's just out of my face. But here is the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. You have these beautiful mix. You have these beautiful 15 shades mix of like super soft matte pigments followed by really soft and creamy shimmers. Like the creamy shimmers in here are just to die for. I did swatch these and I was just so blown away by how amazing the formula felt. Now when I first saw this, a lot of people thought that these palettes look like similar palettes. Now I don't have like the other like Natasha Denona palettes that are like the gold ones and stuff like that. I don't have those, but I do have two palettes, or actually three palettes sitting in front of me that I do think could be great comparisons to this palette. So the first one I have, actually I feel like it'd be like the closest comparison, is the Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Oko Vango palette right here. You guys can use code Allie to purchase this palette, but this is the Nomad Cosmetics Okavango palette, and this is the Natasha Denona palette right here. So there's definitely some similarities, not too much, but like there's some similarities, but there's definitely a distinction between the two for sure. Like this definitely has more like green base, this has more of a brown base. They have a very similar concept. Now, another palette that I thought could be a really good comparison would be the Ace Beauté. This is the Tropical Vibes palette, and this one I feel like also could be a pretty good comparison. So this is the Ace Beauté. This is the Tropical Vibes palette right here, which you guys actually can still use my code to save you guys 10% off. And then here's the Natasha Denona Yucca palette right here. Somewhat similar, but I don't know. I don't really see as many similarities between this one as the other one. So I feel like the Tropical Vibes has some similar tones, but again, I do think they're just a little bit differently. And then the last one I want to compare is the Alter Ego. This is the Goddess palette, and this is supposed to replicate the Natasha Denona Gold palette, which I don't have. So this is, oops, shit, sorry. You know, a little bit. A little bit. These are similar just a little bit. Not by too much, but definitely just a little bit. So those are like some of the three comparison that I see from my collection. But I will say that like, wow, that's a really gorgeous palette. I will say that I feel like the closest one will probably be the Nomad Okavango palette right here. Or probably the closest comparison for the two. Now, if you guys want, this palette is available right now. You guys can buy it on Sephora for $69, or you guys can go to the Natasha Denona website. I believe my friends Angelica Neekfist, Leah Janae, and Morgan Turner all have a discount code for Natasha Denona, which will save you guys 15% off. Feel free to use any of those codes when shopping at Natasha Denona to save you guys 15%. I feel like I'm about to get tongue-tied, but I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in. We're going to go ahead and play with this. I'm so excited to play this palette. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this, and I just am kind of curious. Was this like worth the wait? And oh my god, is it worth this palette? Okay, so I'm going to do two different eye looks today. So the first shade we're going to start off is the shade Citrine. My name is Citrine right here. Again, I have not watched any reviews, so I don't know what people think of this palette. I don't really like watching a lot of like makeup reviews in terms of stuff that I'm going to review myself, because I just want to keep it completely like unbiased. But you know what? Before I do that, let's actually do something different. Camu first. And we're going to put that in our transition. But anyway, as I was saying, I like to not watch reviews so I can completely keep things completely unbiased. But I hope you all had a great weekend. This past weekend, I had the pleasure of meeting Batty Bean here on YouTube. Her real name is Betty Jean, but she goes by Batty Bean. I had the pleasure of meeting her and her husband Zane yesterday at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. It was me, her, Teresa is Dead, Alex, and my husband Corey, and we went originally just to go meet up for brunch. And let me tell you, we ended up having the best time. That we stayed all day. We hung out all day from pretty much breakfast to dinner, and it was the best time. I absolutely had such a wonderful time meeting Batty Bean and her husband Zane. It was the coolest thing. I love when I get a chance to like meet other like creators in the beauty space, because it's just so nice to kind of like talk to each other, be able to have relatable stories, kind of like ask about experiences and whatnot. And it was just so freaking cool. And I've had some of you guys ask me if I vlogged the experience, and I did not. And the reason being is that I wasn't thinking about it. Like typically whenever I'm meeting somebody for the first time, my first thought is not, let me just vlog this experience. My first thought is actually like, let me just like meet this person and see how we are. Because like, what if it was like really awkward, and like, what if we had nothing in common, nothing to talk about, and we're just like, so getting this breakfast, hurry up. You know what I mean? Like, what if it was like that? I didn't want to vlog. Now, I'm sure we made a joke about on our second date, which we technically had a second date by having dinner together, but I'm sure on our third date we'll vlog some experience of us hanging out, because it was actually a lot of fun, like so much fun. And I can't wait to like share that experience with you guys. But if you guys have not checked out Batty Bean or Teresa's Dead, you guys should definitely do so. I'll have them linked in the description, because they are so worth following. Two spooky queens came together, and it was amazing. Okay, now that shade is laid down, now we're going to go into Citrine, and we're going to put that in our inner and outer corner, because I'm going to do like a really pretty like halo eye look today. I don't know if anyone here remembers, but if you are an OG subscriber, you guys remember that for the longest, I mean like longest time, I used to call Natasha Denona Natasha Denoni. I don't know why I did that. Clearly, I just wasn't paying attention, wasn't reading. But I used to call Natasha Denona Natasha Denoni, and I just remember those days when I was first starting out. Like for me, buying a Natasha Denona palette was just like so far out of my league. I was like, no way could I ever afford this. And I'm very grateful because my husband did purchase this for me. But I just remember those days, like sitting in my kitchen, like looking at all the Natasha Denona palettes, being like, well, one day I'll buy it. And here we are reviewing a Natasha Denona palette, which I'm so beyond grateful for. It would not be possible if it wasn't for you guys or encouraging me to keep going and to keep following my dream. Because, you know, I will say, like, especially where I'm at, to do this job, you do have to spend a lot of your own money to do this job. And it's not like, imagine going to work, right? Okay, guys, imagine, besides paying for gas and like food and stuff, imagine going to work and having to pay to be at your job and hope that your job pays you at the end of the day. Imagine that. You know what I mean? It gets very, very expensive. And it's one of those things that people just generally don't talk about, like how expensive it can be to be a beauty YouTuber. And I'm sure the same way goes for like other different genres out there. Like I'm sure trying to be like a gamer. I'm gonna go into the shade called Plantasia right here. It's really beautiful, like Plantasia shade. And oh my god, it's so creamy. But like imagine, like I'm sure like all the, like the gamers when they first start off, they have to, they have to spend just as much money starting off as well. Like I'm sure it's just as like expensive because well, video games are stupidly expensive. But like I'm just imagining that it's just as difficult for them, or like anyone who's like into like book content has to spend a lot of money on books before you ever start getting it in PR or something like that. You know, I couldn't even imagine like what it's like getting like book PR. That'd be actually really cool. But I mean, just imagine like how much like really goes into this just to kind of get your feet on the ground and get established before anything would ever come of it. It's definitely a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice. But even though you guys have definitely seen me struggling right now, I still want to tell you guys, if you guys want to do this, now's still the time to do it. Like I want you guys to follow your dreams. If you guys still want to be a beauty content creator or just a content creator here on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, now is still the time to do it. I don't want you guys to see my struggles to be the reason why you guys don't follow your dreams. Like still follow your dreams by all means. Don't let me stop you. Because I could just be having an off month, off day, off year, but that doesn't mean things won't turn around in the end. And I just want you guys to still follow your dreams, because I've seen so many of you guys saying that you guys want to do YouTube yourself, but now you guys are kind of hesitant. And I'm like, no, don't be hesitant. Do it. I still love it with such a passion. All right, now we're going to go into the shade called Karambi. Shade like right here. I don't know. This is definitely like, I don't think the prettiest look. I'm sure a lot of people went in with the greens. I was trying to go with different shades than a lot of people would have used, because I'm sure everybody's using the greens and whatnot. And I just wanted to kind of more use like the baby diarrhea green, like the baby diarrhea yellow and green. Like that's kind of like I'm going to go for. I will say the shades are really pretty. They're laying down really nicely. There's definitely some kick up in the pan, but not that much fallout on the face. But these shimmers are, oh my god, they are stunning. So this is just how the one eye look looks. I am going to incorporate like the dark green underneath my eye. I just want to do something a little bit differently than just going straight for the green. But now we're going to do a different eye look right here. All right, so for this eye, we're going to go into the shade called Fuchsia right here. And we're going to kind of do the same thing we did on this eye, but on this eye. Okay, I will say it's actually really, really pretty orange. I used the wrong shades. Oh shoot. I wanted to use this shade for this. I mean, it worked out. Like, it really kind of worked out. But I wanted to use... Oh, no. I messed up big time. I did. I messed up big time. I put the wrong shades. Well, we messed up. We messed up. I could do the eye look all over again, but effort. it works. We're going to make this work, guys. Okay, so anyway... I messed up, y'all. I messed up. Like, this is almost like a sunset on my eyes, right? It's so freaking pretty. Since I messed up and I used the wrong shades for this, I wonder if I can use the shade... I wonder if I can use this green shade. Do you think this will go with this? Ooh, I don't know. We're gonna try. We might be able to make this work, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna try the shade Ring. This is supposed to be for the other eye, and I messed up, man. We're gonna do this again because I messed up. I put the wrong colors and I don't like it. And I want to give this palette a fair review because I don't like it. Okay. We're gonna kind of go back into the same colors. We're gonna go into the shade called Fuchsia. And we're gonna try this again. Oh my gosh, guys. I completely just messed that up. I don't know what happened, but I messed it up. So we're gonna do something just completely different. I'm so sorry. And you know what's crazy is that so many of you guys always appreciate whenever I put like my bloopers or like my mess ups in my videos because you guys say how real it is. I do it because, well, it is real. Like, I am not perfect. I'm not a makeup artist. Like, I am not a makeup artist in the slightest. I have never claimed a makeup artist. Okay, my only skills I have are serving food. I was a server for 11 years. That's my skills. I just learned how to do makeup. Learned. I'm still learning because I watched a lot of beauty content on YouTube, and it was a lot of practice and trial. Practice and errors. Practice, like, you know, trial and errors, trial and errors. That's how I learned how to do makeup for the most part. But believe me when I say, I could still use room for improvement. I could still, you know, hone in on my blending skills, get better at blending. It's definitely not the easiest. So, like, for me, I would never, ever try to portray anything other than myself. And I am not perfect. I am not a makeup artist, and I will never try to be one either. So I will always show you guys the mess ups because it's real. It's what's real life. And you guys always thank me for it. And I just want to be like, you never have to thank me. I will always show you guys the truth, the struggles, because there are days when I struggle to do a makeup look, and you know what? It's okay. It's okay to struggle to do a makeup look. So, you guys see this? Digging it in, going around town, bringing it around. It's okay. It's a little lackluster. I don't know what's going on with this shade, but it's a little lackluster. It's not wanting to pick up on my brush. Like, I'm not even getting... Okay, that's kind of irritating. When I spent $69 on this palette, you think that it would give me more pigment than what it is. I don't know what's happening, but you guys can see it's like it's there, but like I'm like literally rubbing the shit out of it on my freaking eye, try to get pigment down and running it through here. That it's like, I don't know, it's like, do you guys see the spot that's developing on it? Do you see that? Like, what? I don't know. Okay, we're gonna go back into the other shade, Exia, that orange shade we're just using. I'm just gonna tap this on the outer corner. Now that's pigmented. That is pigmented. I don't know what happened to the other shade. But yeah, anyway, so you guys don't ever have to thank me for showing you guys the truth. This is reality. Okay, now we're gonna go into the right shade again. Now we're gonna go in the shade called Plantasia right here. Beautiful, beautiful shade. But you know what's crazy though? Is I know this shade is in so many other palettes. But my gosh, is it stunning. This is a stunning, stunning shade. And it feels incredible. It's so buttery smooth and soft. Like, yes, this is what I was trying to go for. I don't know how I messed up. I think it's because I just really want to play with this shade. All right, and then we're going to go back into that shade called Kambori. Right here. Put that right in the inner corner. You guys can even see it like here. You see that? Like, what is that? First you stink, and now you don't want to work for me. All right, so we're gonna go back into the shade Citrine. I don't know why I really like that name, but I really like that name. So we're gonna do the same thing on this side. We're gonna put that in our crease, and we're just gonna kind of do exactly what we did in the other eye. I cannot believe that I just kind of like mess this up. But you know, we're gonna change it up once more. If you guys hear grunting in the background, that's just Koa. He's getting cozy, and a lot of times when he lays behind the camera, he likes to kick the camera. So I apologize if you guys see it move, but yes. We're going to lay this down. I'm not going to lie, this eye is kind of stinging a little bit. I don't know what that's about, but my eye is kind of stinging. It maybe has to do with the fact that I used like a makeup remover to like wipe away that makeup, but my eye is stinging and I don't know. Oh my gosh, y'all. Like, what if I'm the only one who's struggling with this palette? Like, that's going to suck. So now we're going to go into the shade called Willow right here. It makes me automatically think of the Taylor Swift song called Willow on her Evermore album. We're going to take this and we're going to start to just tap this in right here. I'm going to be typical and go with the green eye look because I want to play with this shade. And it's like really the only true like green in this palette. We'll see how well it blends with the the baby diarrhea shade. We'll see how well this blends together. Okay, we're gonna go in the shade called Makia right here. This pretty green shade. I will say these shimmer shades are laying down so nicely on top of the mattes. It's insane how nice they lay down next to that. All right, then we're gonna go into that shade called Ray right here. So this is the eye looks. Fuck, man. I don't like this. I don't. I think this is pretty. I like that. I like it. This, it's muddy. You know what? It may not even be the palette. It could generally just be me, my skills, off day. I don't know what it is, but this, I am struggling to get this to like blend together. So I'm going to work with that off camera. I'm going to come back with my face done and we're going to do the under eyes together. And then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this palette because I have some. And I feel like I'm going to be one of the only ones out there that feel this way about this palette. And I'm just like, damn it. So I'll be back. Okay, so now that the makeup is pretty much on, we're going to finish off the eyes. So I'm going to go into the shade called Flax right here, which is actually what I used to line my upper lashes to match with my like fake lashes, my real lashes. So we're going to go into that. We're going to actually underline our waterline with that today. And then I'm going to blend it out with a different shade. So far, I mean, the palette is really pretty. I definitely won't take it away. And there are some shades in here that are so freaking beautiful. But there are other shades, like the shade Fuchsia, that I am like struggling with. I don't know what is going on with that shade. It is just, I don't know if it's hard pressed or what, but it's just really not wanting to give me the pigment that I'm looking for. It just is definitely a struggle bus with that. I don't know what happened. We're going to take this shade, we're going to blend this out, and then I'm going to take the shade called Valley right up here to use this as well for underneath the waterline today. Definitely a lot of kick up with this shade. We're going to go into the shade Willow one more time. Yo, like this shade is so weird. You think the shade would have more kick up than what it does. We're going to lay this down, and then we're going to blend it out with that shade called Camu right here. That's so pretty blending that in together. That's like so freaking pretty. Okay guys, so I'm gonna throw on some eyeliner, some mascara on the bottom lash, and I'm gonna come back and give you guys my final thoughts on the Yucca palette right here. Okay guys, so this is the final look. What are my thoughts on the new Natasha Denona Yucca palette? I like it, I do, but like I'm not in love with it. I feel like I'm gonna be one of the only few people who say that. I am not in love with this palette. I don't know why. It's like, I love this eye look right here. I think this eye look is really pretty. And you know what? This one's okay. This one's okay. It's not my favorite, but I really do enjoy how this eye look looks. It's very, very, very gorgeous. So I will say from the outside packaging, the outside packaging is phenomenal. I love the matte ombre look. I think it's so freaking pretty. And when you open the inside, it's a very gorgeous looking palette. Like I cannot take it away that this is a very, very gorgeous looking palette. Now some of the mattes in here are unbelievably pigmented. They're so beautiful to work with. Same with some of the shimmers. The shimmers in here are just incredible. They're so creamy and buttery. They glide on beautifully, have such an amazing shift. I absolutely love it. But I did have a little bit of struggle with the shade called Fuchsia. You guys can see it right here. This to me is so hard pressed. Like I'm digging my finger to try to get some sort of like pigment, but like I don't know. You guys obviously saw that I was struggling to get it to work. I don't know what was happening with that shade. The shade Willow, I think it definitely has pigmentation to it, but I feel like this is one of the shades you really kind of have to build up. But the shade called Flax and Valley are super pigmented. Acacia and Tipu are very, very similar in pigment with like 1 little degree difference, but they were also super pigmented. And then the shade Citrine is very pigmented. So it's like some shades are working beautifully, other shades are not. And I think it's a really, really gorgeous palette. Now for me, I do wish they had a little bit more green tones in here. I wish like these two were just a little bit more different in color because they are pretty similar. They're just like a 1 degree difference between the two in my personal opinion. But I wish it would have been like a little bit different because they only have 1 dark green. But it is a really, really pretty palette and I'm definitely going to keep playing with it. But based upon first impression, I like it. I'm just not in love with it. Plus, it has this weird like chemical smell. It smells like a box of crayons. I'm sorry. It smells like a box of crayons, like melted crayons, like you set a box of crayons in the sun, you let it melt, but like it has like a waxy, chemically crayon smell. I can't describe it. I've never smelled a Natasha Denona palette that smelled like that before, so I don't really know what that is. I don't know if it came from the truck. I don't know. But I'm not the biggest fan of how it smells. So that's also kind of off-putting, and then with the shades having a little difficulty. So I'm not in love with this palette. But I will say this. If you love Natasha Denona, if you love her formula, if you love the color story, this is definitely going to be a palette for you, hands down. It is really beautiful. It truly is beautiful look to look at. I definitely had a little bit of issues with it. So for me, based on first impressions, I like it. I do not love it. But if you guys do want to pick it up, you guys can go to the Natasha Denona website. Like I said, Angelica Nyqvist, Morgan Turner, and Leah Janae all have 15% off discount codes on the website if you guys wish to use it. Or you guys can head over to Sephora, purchase it there as well. And I believe Ulta is going to have this as well. Just in case, I think Ulta had this as well. But I will say, upon shopping with the Natasha Denona website, their customer service is subpar. It's freaking amazing. I definitely want to keep shopping the brand. But first impressions, it's alright. I like it, but I want to keep playing with it. If you guys did not know, I do a series on my channel called Repurchase or Trash. So I'll be testing this all month long. So at the end of June, I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this palette. But it's okay. I like it. I'll keep using it, but like I'm not in love with it. So yeah, I do apologize for being late. Like I said, FedEx just wanted to play around the palette first, do quality tests. That's probably why we have some issues. But this is the look. I will say I think this one is so freaking pretty. I love the way this eye looks. It's really gorgeous. And this one, to me, it's okay. Yeah, guys, that is it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this palette down below. Did you guys pick it up? Do you guys want to pick it up? Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, that is it for today's video, guys. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you guys give this video a cheeky thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, because I do post 4 to 5 videos every single week. Make sure you guys head over to my other channel, it's R for the Life. You guys get to see my cool, wonderful adventures, my amazing husband, Corey. And as always, the biggest thank you goes to these beautiful, wonderful Patreon members you guys see right here. Thank you guys so much for everything. And to my subscribers and viewers, thank you guys so much for being here. Whether you guys like this video, you guys thumbs down this video, you guys subscribed, you guys did not subscribe. Either way, thank you guys so much for being here. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. So with that said, guys, I love you, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.